Chapter 213, Xingkong. This chapter is updated by novels.pl. The weather is so bad, just snowing whenever it feels like it. Doesn't it know that I've hated cold weather ever since I was a child? Xingkong moaned while holding the fighting sword. He was walking in the frost and snow. The wisp of breath he exhaled turned into a long pillar of white smoke. After getting rid of the man in black, he quickly followed the track that Zhang Yuochen and Huang Yanshen had left behind. After 500 kilometers he still couldn't see any sign of them. Junior fellow apprentice Chang, if you're cold, would you like a sip of the burning wine? A voice floated into Xingkong's ears. Who is that? Clash. Xingkong was shocked and immediately took out his fighting sword. His tiny eyes shaped like green peas looked around, trying to discover where the voice had come from. Look to the east. 100 meters away there is a 2,000-meter high mountain. I'm standing on the hillside of that mountain. The sound continued. Xingkong lifted his head and looked to the east. Although the frost and snow impaired his vision, he could still see the mountain 100 meters away. Sound drifting 100 meters through the air. Perhaps this is. Xingkong's eyes widened and he displayed his martial arts technique. He transformed into a shadow and rushed towards the mountain where the sound came from as fast as he could. Xingkong's realm of cultivation allowed him to go anywhere without leaving a trace. Xingkong arrived at the mountain in less than 2 hours. He stood in the middle of the snow and raised his head. He saw a man in his 20s, with disheveled hair and a wine gourd in his hand. He was laying on the branch of a massive tree, raising his head drinking. The man was tall and handsome, with dark eyebrows and a straight nose. He looked elegant and unconventional. When Xingkong saw the man in the tree, he looked cheerful and saluted him with his hand slightly lifted. Greetings, senior brother. The man who was laying on the tree branch was the #1 master of the school of the martial market, Xingkong. Xingkong had a smile on his face. He threw the wine gourd down towards Xingkong and said, I will be generous and offer you a drink. However, the burning wine is extremely expensive, so you are only allowed to take a sip. Xingkong picked the wine gourd up off the ground and felt excited. The wine a senior brother drank would not be just any ordinary wine. Xingkong didn't want to waste any of the wine, so he swallowed hard after opening the wine gourd. He regretted that instantly after taking a sip. The burning wine was like a fire running through his body. He felt as though his blood was boiling. Senior brother, what are you drinking? Sweat poured out from his entire body. Whenever he spoke it felt like fire was coming out of his mouth. Although it was a snowy day, the burning he felt caused him to take off all his clothes. The only thing he left on were his red underpants. Ha. That burning wine is made up of 39 spiritual doses with strong nature. Its efficacy and nature are even stronger than the half-saint's essence, and thus it is extremely expensive. I only take 3 sips every day, but you drank a whole mouthful. No wonder you feel as if you're on fire. Xingkong climbed down from the branch, stretched and then yawned. Seeing Xingkong's reaction he felt guilty, but at the same time he found it amusing. His guilt was not for how Xingkong's body reacted to the wine, but more how expensive the wine was. Yet, the red underpants that Xingkong was wearing were quite funny. Let me help you. Xingkong thrust towards the ground and walked in the air. It looked like he was moving slow, and yet, he stood in front of Xingkong after only a second. Wah! He pointed at Xingkong's globula and the genuine qi in his body poured out and entered Xingkong's qi. At that moment the efficacy of the burning wine was fully refined and transformed into Xingkong's cultivation. Xingkong's cultivation had broken through from the medium state to the final state of the earth realm instantly. His martial cultivation had been significantly elevated. The efficacy had been refined with the help of Xingkong, but not the effect of wine. Xingkong looked drunk and he obviously didn't know that he was still only wearing underpants, not to mention that he had broken through to the final state. Although the efficacy of the burning wine was incredible, it alone wasn't enough to facilitate Xingkong in breaking through to a higher realm. Before Xingkong drank the wine he had reached the peak of the medium state of the earth realm. With both the efficacy of the burning wine and the help of Xingkong, he had easily broken through to the next realm. Xingkong's tongue was numb. He was still drunk and said, Senior brother, haven't you brought the half-saint's blood book to fight with the evil warriors of the Tarantula Chamber of Commerce? Xingkong shook his head and sighed with his hair fluttering. Forget about it. Xingkong has reached the heaven realm as well as obtained the red spider vessel. It will not be easy to defeat him. But I don't need to worry about it now. The two myths of martial arts of the Cayenne's Yue Commandery are on their way to kill him. Chang Kiki asked, then why are you here, senior brother? Xingkong tapped his forehead, yelled and said, oh, right. I've been drinking and almost forget why I'm here. Let's go. We're going to meet the number one genius of the 36 commanderies in the Omen Ridge. Chang Tangai. Chang Kiki was half asleep from the alcohol. Yes, that's him. Xingkong took the wine gourd out of Chang Kiki's hand. He carried it on his back and sniffed in the air. There was a faint smile on his face and he said, I can already smell his breath. Xingkong led the way. It seemed as though he was walking casually and yet Chang Kiki almost fell behind even if he ran as fast as he could. Chang Kiki was panting heavily and said, senior brother, why are we going to meet Chang Tangai? Xingkong laughed and answered, someone asked me to do him a favor and block Chang Tangai tonight no matter what. Block him from what? Chang Kiki asked. I don't know. Xingkong responded. Then who asked you to block him? Guess. Oh, I can't. If you can't, then that's fine. Xingkong laughed and said, in fact, I've been longing to fight with him. He's been called the number one genius while I'm regarded as the number one master of the young generation of the 36 commanderies in the Omen Ridge. I've always wondered who is stronger of us. I'm sure, senior brother, that you are stronger than him. Chang Kiki said proudly. I don't know, there's always someone better than you in the world. Xingkong glanced at Chang Kiki and shook his head. Why are you so slow? Let me help you. He grabbed Chang Kiki's shoulders. Clash. They dashed out like a ghost shadow flashing in the snow. Chang Kiki's scream was still floating in the air. Chang Tangai was sitting on a strange-looking carriage, flying 3 feet above the ground at high speed. The carriage was an 8th level genuine martial arms called Flying Shaft. It was a treasure found by Chang Tangai inside the elementary ruin. Once he embedded the spiritual crystal under the flying shaft, it was able to fly after the array was activated. According to the sign left by Shenfeng, I should be catching up to Commandery Princess Yanshin and the mysterious teenager soon. Liu Cheng, who was sitting outside the flying shaft steering, sneered, if Chang Kiki hadn't blocked my way, I would have taken both of them down and we would have had no need to bother a senior brother. Chang Tangai sat cross-legged in the flying shaft and asked, is the mysterious teenager Zhang Ruochen? Liu Cheng shook his head gently and replied, I don't know his identity, senior brother. He was wearing a mask and claimed that he was the secret disciple of the silver-gowned elder hall master in the school of the martial market. The secret disciple of the silver-gowned elder hall master? Chang Tangai's eyes widened suddenly and displayed 2 dazzling lights in his pupils. He said, I guess I'll have to figure out his real identity in person. When the flying shaft reached the riverside, it suddenly stopped. What happened? Chang Tangai sounded annoyed. Liu Cheng replied with a serious voice, someone is stopping the flying shaft from going forward. Who dares to block my carriage? Chang Tangai said with a low voice. He's Xingkong, the number one master of the 10 prodigies of the Omen Ridge. Liu Cheng responded. Xingkong. Chang Tangai grimaced, opened the curtain of the carriage and looked forward. He could see 2 men standing in front of the flying shaft. One was carrying a wine gourd while the other was only wearing red underpants. The handsome man who was holding the wine gourd gazed at the flying shaft, laughed and said, Brother Zhang, where are you rushing to in such freezing weather? It was difficult for Chang Tangai to tell why Xingkong was here. He put on a ferret cloak and walked down from the carriage. He saluted towards Xingkong and asked, Brother C, what brings you here? Well, I've been waiting here for a while. Xingkong said open-heartedly, I've heard that Brother Zhang is the disciple of the head of Yuntai suzerain a long time ago and that you've practiced the 6 mysterious martial arts to the 5th level. I wanted to show my admiration and hope to learn from you by fighting. Having heard this, Chang Tangai narrowed his eyes and said, I'm afraid I can't fulfill your wish. I'm pretty tired today, but if Brother C really wants to fight, How about in the Yanwu city 2 weeks from now? Zhang Tangai was extremely confident in his ability. After elevating his cultivation, he couldn't wait to defeat Xingkong. He could be called the genuine #1 genius of the 36 commanderies in the Omen Ridge. All he had to do was defeat Xingkong, but not tonight. He was in a hurry to take care of Huang Yanchen and the mysterious teenager, whose true identity was perhaps Zhang Yuochen. He had no time to waste fighting Xingkong. The kick of the burning wine hadn't yet worn off in Chang Kiki's body as he exclaimed, "Zhang Tangai, my senior brother is the top genius of the 10 prodigies of the Omen Ridge. He specifically waited for you in the snow just to fight you. It is embarrassing to wave us off so quickly." Xingkong added, "Zhang Tangai leaves without fighting. That's not your style at all." Zhang Tangai looked towards Xingkong, thought about the matter a little and said, "Fine. If Brother C insists, I'm happy to fight you. However, I have some other important matters to attend to, so I'm afraid this can only be a quick battle. How about this? We decide the victory in 10 moves. What do you think?" Xingkong squinted, stretched out one finger and shook gently. 10 moves? No, I think we can know who's the winner in 7 moves. Zhang Tangai responded. Brother C is indeed full of confidence. Perhaps Brother C thinks the 6 mysterious martial arts I practiced only obtains 6 types of techniques and that I'll be defeated in the 7th move. Haha. No doubt the 6 mysterious martial arts is a broad and profound technique that involves 6 types of chi in one body. It allows you to display various types of martial technique. Yet I would say, no matter how advanced your mastery with the martial technique is, there are only 6 types of mysteries and their nature isn't going to differ much. If I can withstand your 6 types of mysteries, then you will have nothing left to play and I will be victorious in the 7th move.